sorry, Uncle Cap.
Thank you. Hey, Michael, it's a pleasure to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you. Good group. Do we sit? Yes, please. Dynamite. Thank you.
You know, I'll tell our folks at home, and maybe some of the people in our studio audience don't know, this was the studio where you also did $20,000 Pyramid.
Yes, and you took my dressing room. You know, I go upstairs, you get to be a creature of habit. We worked out of here for about 7 years,
right.
And I walk in a sort of somnambulistic state early this morning, and I walk straight up to my dressing room, and there's your name on the door. What is this? Fame is a fleeting thing.
I'm sorry, Dick.
No, and you know whose name was on the door before that? Dick Cavett had that dressing room.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
It's a famous dressing room there. Yeah.
Good company.
Well, I'll give it back, I promise.
You got it.
Let's see, how long has Bandstand been on now?
The Bandstand went on the air in 1952, Michael, and I've been doing it since 1956, and in a year and a half, we'll celebrate our 30th anniversary.
30 years. This is a picture of you that they were just looking at.
Oh, was it? Oh. Has it gone by, never to be seen again?
No, that picture, can we take a look at that picture?
That was my baby picture, I want you to know, folks. Did you? Oh, my, oh.
What year was that?
You see the hair in those days. People say to me these days, is that your real hair? I don't mean in that picture, but now I say, what do you think? I borrowed it for the occasion. You just don't have all that stuff in it. In the old days, if you ran your hand through the hair of a guy in the 50s, I mean, it was like, it was oily and greasy.
Oh, you put all what is it, that stuff they call pomade or something or whatever it
all
was called?
sorts of grease and stuff. It was like dipping your hand into a can of Crisco. You know, you take it out.
I'll pass. How do you think, over the years you've been doing Bandstand, that the dating has changed among the viewers of Bandstand?
I think in the old days, it's an indication of women's liberation. The girls today are a little more into making the first move. In the old days, if a girl liked a guy, she would tell a friend who would tell a friend who would tell a friend. 5 people would say, Charlie likes you, or Susie likes you. And it's a little more out in the open now, less naive.
How have the guys reacted to that?
Hey, you got to love that, because in the old days, the obligation was yours. I mean, you're not that old, but back in the days when Bandstand first started, it was a long, arduous process. I mean, you prayed that the girl would pay attention to you.
We have some videotape over the years of Bandstand, and I'd like to take a look at it, but I'd like for you to show us and tell us what are some of the changes that have taken place between kids today and kids of the 50s and 60s.
There are a lot of them. These you will see in glorious black and white, because remember the Bandstand used to be on 5 days a week, live, and all of it went out there, and they filmed it. Now, in those days, this audience's grandmothers would say, we were peachy keen, neato, cool, and smooth. And they really thought they were hot stuff. Every kid would watch the Bandstand Philadelphia and wear whatever they wore. Now, when you look at it, it looks like World War I footage. I mean, they look like they went down to Goodwill Industries and outfitted themselves. But this was very chic in those days.
All right, let's take a look at this footage from the early Bandstand.
First one is 1957. There. Now, that's a thing called the stroll.
That was the dance?
Yeah, it was a stroll. And you see the mail the guy has in his pocket? That was a very prestigious thing. They used to get 15,000 pieces of mail a week, the kids who danced on the show. You see the bobby socks over there on the right-hand side? You always wore 2 pairs of bobby socks because you want to have thick ankles for some reason. Okay. This is an ordinary jitterbug, a swing dance. That's been around for years. This is about 1950.
I know that a lot of people have said that you were the oldest living teenager in America. You've witnessed all of the changes. What do you have to say about the kids today?
I watched those old films, Michael, and I suddenly realized that this audience is all old. You've gotten old on me all of a sudden. They're so sophisticated.
Sophisticated.
Every 10 years, you're supposed to double your knowledge through television and books. I mean, aside from the silliness about all the strange clothing and all, this audience is so much brighter than their moms and dads at the same age. There's one problem, however.
Okay.
I don't mean to demean the older generation. The biggest problem I've ever seen, and I tell both sides, is that we don't give any respect to either side. A kid doesn't give respect to his elders. What does he know about what's going on in the street out there? You got to remember one thing. In order to get to be old, you had to live through something. I think it was Mark Twain who said he was flabbergasted at how brilliant his father got between the time he was 18 and 21. That just meant that Mark got a little older, but this is a very sophisticated generation.
Probably because of television, you think, to a certain extent?
I mean, television, motion pictures, they read more, and certainly you learn a lot more in school than we did. We were very naive.
I just want to tell you that that it's a pleasure for me to meet you. This is actually the second time we've met.
Yeah.
But for everybody out there who enjoys Kids Are People Too and watches, we wouldn't have a show like this if it wasn't for people like you who started and had faith in the teenagers and really helped us along. We appreciate
Thank you, Michael.
having you.
Very much.
Thank you.